Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my weekly deck reviews. I love doing this video every week. I know I say it every week, but I also mean it. I have a delicious cranberry ginger ale that I'm sipping on. I don't know if you have something to sip, but you might want to, because sometimes I babble in these and they get long. Also, what is with the pinky up when you drink out of a soda can? Does anybody else do that? Is it just me? Just me? Okay. Let's talk about what I've been working with this past week. Okay, I feel like I need to, let's just better. I'm just gonna play with the tripod. I'm sure nobody minds. It's not the least bit annoying. Okay, so I'm gonna dive right in. If you're new here, in my weekly deck reviews, I like to talk about the tarot and oracle deck I've been working with over the past week and what I'm gonna be working with next week. And October is one of my favorite months for talking about this. So let's start with what I have been working with from a tarot perspective over the past week. Also, can we just talk about the zombie bag? Can we? Can we talk about it? Because it's everything. Look at her. Isn't she fabulous? And so is she. Okay, sorry. Zombie tarot. This is what I have been working with this week. So this deck actually comes in a big, super cute and super like decorated and thematically appropriate box that actually looks a little bit like a box that's supposed to hold bullets. Really fun. This has got this like post-apocalyptic zombie feel. The guidebook is so much fun. So is the deck. Let me show you some images. Oh, but before I do, look what I did. So if you follow me on Instagram or if you are on the Supportive Tarot Facebook page, you've already seen this, but I edged my deck this week. So what I actually did is I edged it with a Dewdrop ink pad in the color Ladybug, which is a bright red. And then I took a Distress ink, and the color on that Distress ink was Vintage Photo, and I went over top of the red. So that's what's giving it this really cool, like kind of beaten up, war-torn, like red, bloody color. I love it. I'm so happy with how it turned out. And that's the first time I've ever edged using like 2 layers before, and I just love the effect. So that might be happening again on one of my decks. I don't know which one, but the backs are like this. Now, I'm not a big fan of backs that have words on them. I really wish they just wouldn't. But it does kind of remind you of those sort of old fortune teller kind of machines that you could put a quarter in and get like your fortune told. At least that's what it makes me think of. The actual artwork in this deck is so clever. I'm just repositioning myself so I can show you more cards. But it is so clever. Like, look at this cigarette machine for the devil. And the Wheel of Fortune. It's a fantastic reading deck. There is so many great messages in this. It's not one that I'm real quick to reach for clients unless it's like I mean, I guess I would if I was offering a specifically like Halloween themed or spooky themed reading or zombie themed reading, which might be fun. Do I still have time to do that for Halloween? Probably not. And I'm probably too lazy. But I just love this deck. There's so much fun to read. Like, look at this hermit. Like, are you kidding? She knows what's up. Like, she's got herself barricaded in. She's just gonna chill out with her chocolate and her good book. It's also, it looks like the book she's reading. I just noticed this. I wish I had a magnifying glass. It almost looks like the book title is WTF with something underneath it. I don't know if my camera will pick that up. That's pretty funny. Okay, sorry for the focusing. I'll put the cards back up. The Tower, the Lovers, or is that the Two of Cups? Yeah, that's the Lovers. Just really good, fantastic images. There's a ton of humor, and this is actually a really great deck to play with if you are kind of getting to know the tarot and you want to look at different ways to look at the cards. Like this Seven of Swords, where this chick is kicking this man down the stairs so that the zombies can eat him first, is basically the funniest thing I think I've ever seen. I mean, I don't know if that's really dark, but it's just like she legit was like, nah man, she's got this like really fancy like handheld machine gun or something, and she's like kicked him down the stairs just to buy herself some time. And it's like for the Seven of Swords. I mean, it's great. The Ace of Cups, and this one actually kind of confused me at first until I realized that the zombie was holding the head with the brain open and exposed. And I was like, well, that would be what a zombie would have in their cup, because that'd be yummy. No. I feel like such a dork talking about these cards. But actually they give really fantastic punchy messages. It's very sassy. This deck has so much personality. I'm just going to keep saying the same things. I look forward to working with it every year. I will admit I don't reach for it much in between, like not in October, which I think I mentioned last weekend. But I really just have fun with it. And it does shake up some of my sort of rote meanings of the cards, and it kind of gives me new things. I really like the quartz. This is actually one of the cards that helped me to get a clearer picture in my own mind for what the Page of Pentacles was really like. So in this deck, they do call Pentacles hazards. Let's see if they changed anything else. I can never remember. So Pentacles are hazards, swords are swords, wands are wands, cups are cups. So the only one that changed was Pentacles is now hazards, but this is actually really fun. Now, last weekend when I was talking about this deck, somebody, and I'm so sorry I'm spacing your name, somebody recommended to me the movie Fido, which is from about 2006. And so I was in a mood one night and I had just edged this deck and I was playing around with it, and I looked up the movie, read a little bit about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, we need to watch this. So we found it on Amazon Prime Video, but I think we had to take a free trial of a channel. I can't remember which one, but we found it through Amazon Prime somehow. I'm new to Amazon Prime Video, so I don't really know how the whole thing works, but it was on a separate channel that normally you'd have to pay extra for, but we did a trial so that we could watch this movie. And Peggy and Steve and I had a great time watching it. It was so cute. And the person who suggested it said that she thought maybe this deck was loosely based on that movie or inspired by that movie. And I completely see the correlation, and it's fantastic. And I'm probably gonna watch it again this month with my other son, John, if we can, because it was just so, it was so fun. Anyways, okay, that's enough about the Zombie Tarot, but I had a lot of fun reading with this. It read great. It always does. Really enjoyed it. The guidebook, oh, before I put it away, I should talk about the guidebook. The guidebook is so much fun. Okay, so for starters, it opens up this way, and it's got this feel of like old vintage ads is kind of what the paper and the design looks like. And you get a little blurb on every single card, and each one is, again, thematically appropriate. So as an example, the King of Cups, well, let's go to a knot court here just to give you an idea. Okay, so the 8 of Cups, time to pack it in, amigo. The town is nearly overrun. You need to load up what's left of your sanity and move on. Relationships are no longer close and you're feeling left out of the group. The 8 of Cups urges you to abandon a failed relationship or broken endeavor. It's time to try your luck in that little town down the road. Every description keeps you in this like world of like this post-apocalyptic zombie takeover, and it's just fun. It's so much fun. So yeah, that will probably get pulled out a couple more times here and there throughout the month just for fun, but I really enjoyed working with it nonstop this week, and I highly recommend it. It's super affordable. It's a mass market deck, really easy to get a hold of through Amazon, or even sometimes you can find this at like local bookstores. Worth picking up. Another deck that's in a similar vein or similar style is the Housewives Tarot. That one didn't speak to me so much, but similar idea, and maybe even the same publisher. Loved it. The Oracle deck that I've been working with this week in this adorable, well, not so much adorable, but really cool vintage bag is the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle. I won't say that I had the most stellar experience with this deck this week. It was fine, but I found that I find that it like is kind of like a Lenormand deck, but one that I haven't worked with enough to develop my own associations for. So what I found myself doing this week was I would pull 3 cards, kind of Lenormand style, and I would look up the meanings for every single card in the associated pamphlet, which I'll show you in a moment here. And then I would string them together Lenormand style to form a bit of a sentence or a message, and it works fine like that. It's just that I feel like if I spent more time with this and really got cozy with it, I'd get even more out of it. It's really fun to use, but it's just, I love keywords, and I think because it's titles and not keywords, I have to think for a second longer about what every card means. but I think that it could be just as useful and versatile as Lenormand if I spent more time with it. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it was fun. It wasn't easy to use this week. And I feel like last year I had a slightly different experience with it, but it could be because I spent more time with it. I'm not really sure. Really fun and appropriate to pull out at this time of the year. And if you're better with getting a quick keyword in your head for something like, okay, fire is a bad example. Okay, bees. Okay, there's a lot of really good ones in here, you guys. I'm like trying to find one that's more ambiguous. Okay, nope, they're all really good. If I actually sit with them and I'm patient with them, everything makes sense. Like broom is like something that's being cleaned. Flower could be a gift. Umbrella could be shelter. Oraculum could be intuition and insight. I mean, like, you could totally use this Lenormand style if you just go with your gut, like the first keyword that pops into your head. And I may pull this out again this month with a different deck and see if I can be a little more patient with it and get more out of it. I do have the original first edition, which has the backs that form they're like a puzzle. And I kind of wish I had the most recent edition, which has uniform backs, because these kind of bother me mildly, mostly because I'm never going to actually make the puzzle and I wish I had uniform backs. Plus there's extra cards, but I don't want to buy this deck all over again, so there's that too. But let me show you the pamphlet that comes along with it that has the keywords on it. And I have here the original deck plus the expansion pack. So the original deck comes with this sort of fold out pamphlet that feels, it's very, again, it's very thematic, right? There's like a whole story that kind of goes along with this. And so you have like keywords for every card like that. So you have like three or four keywords for every single card. There's also a past, present, future spread in here. And then in the expansion pack that I have, there's another one of these. And so for the extra cards, I have more keywords here. And I believe there's also I also have a shovel card that I think has its own set of keywords. There's a few other goodies you end up with throughout like the Mildred Payne experience. But if you are drawn to this, like here's another creepy photo that you get in with the deck with this like backing. It's very like, it's like a story working with this deck, right? So it's fun, but yeah, I just feel like I didn't bond with it very well this week. So there's that. Still love it. Definitely not going anywhere. Needs a little more time and patience, I think, than what I had for it this week. The reading cloth I used all week went beautifully with my zombie tarot, and it is this adorable zombie pinup. I believe Peggy has 1 or 2 little mini cloths left in her shop made from this fabric. I don't know that there are any bags. She really struggled to get pieces of material that would work for bags because the design is so large and spread out. But there's definitely a couple things left in her shop with this fabric if you are interested, and her sale is still on. Shameless plug, can't help myself. I'm so proud of her. Okay, let's talk about what I'm going to be working with next week right after I have a sip of my drink. So next week, this deck came about because I am weak. Okay, but seriously, I was talking to Dustin one night on Glide, and we were chatting about decks that he wanted to get for Halloween time. And specifically one that would work with a particular Oracle deck. And next thing you know, I was mentioning this deck because somebody else that I talk to regularly, Erica from Raw Spirit, she has this deck and she loves this deck, and I should just show you what it is. But anyways, so I was talking about this deck with Dustin, and he's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna get it. And then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, well, I mean, I keep thinking about it, so I should get it too. Such a copycat, I swear. I couldn't help myself though, because it's so fantastic and appropriate for Halloween. But this is the Haunted House Tarot by, oh my gosh, focus. There we go. By Sasha Graham and Mirko Pierre Federici. I'm slaughtering that. This deck is so much fun. I haven't used it yet, but I have flipped through the whole thing, and I actually read the entire Little White Book, because the Little White Book kind of has a narrative element where it tells sort of the story of what's happening in the cards, which I thought was really fun. I've already shuffled and played with this deck a little bit. Here's what the backs look like. I'm gonna have to edge it. I just don't know in what yet. But it's just like literally the artwork shows you, well, shows characters in this haunted mansion. I love this Eight of Wands. I love it when the wands are coming right at you. Several decks have done that and I just really love the effect. Each suit sort of has a different element of story running through it. This feels like such an out of place 10 of Cups with everything else that's going on in this deck. And the 10 of Swords actually also looks strangely positive considering what everything else looks like. But I'm really excited actually to play with this deck and see what it's like to work with. So yeah, I am really, is that the High Priestess? Oh no, that's the Two of Wands with this sort of Ouija board action happening. Oh, it's just really, this is I believe a low Scarabeo deck. Yeah, this is a low Scarabeo deck. But what's nice is that it is borderless, and instead of titles and numbers and stuff, you have, like for the majors, you just have the Roman numeral, so 2 for the High Priestess. And then for the minors, you have a number and a symbol. And then for the courts, you have, and Low Scarabeo's done with this with a bunch of their decks to get around multiple languages being on the cards. So this is the horse and the sword, so this would be the Knight of Swords. Yeah. Yeah, look at this creepy doll in the Four of Pentacles. Craziness. I'm really excited to play with this because I haven't yet, and I got it like several weeks ago, so I am really looking forward to getting to know this deck better. I will definitely let you guys know how it reads for me throughout the week, but I'm excited. And of course, I snagged one of Peggy's new bags, this really cute, spooky, not cute. It's not cute. Cute's the wrong word for this bag. But it's got like ravens and bats and spider webs, and it's just perfect for this deck. The Oracle deck that I'm going to be working with this week in this Skulls bag is the Halloween Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. It's not going to be in the bag, or in the box in the bag, it's just going to be in the bag. I'm going to show you those, but I wanted to keep it in there. Look at how fun this is though. If you love keeping your stuff in boxes, like that's pretty cute. I have a dog behind me and she's like chewing on her foot. Like, Shayla, don't chew on your foot. Okay. First of all, the Halloween Oracle, if you haven't seen it yet, this one is also, oh, this one is Stacey DeMarco. The Haunted Mansion one was Sasha Graham, or the Haunted House Tarot is Sasha Graham. Stacey DeMarco is also the artist behind the Queen of the Moon Oracle, which I am loving. So, sorry, I'm getting distracted. That's what the backs look like. And here we have our art. Just a couple examples, because I haven't worked with this one yet, so I'll be working with it this week. It's very Halloween themed, but it's got this really cool aesthetic. I think this deck would look actually really amazing trimmed, and I may have to trim it, but I don't know if I'll have time this week. We'll see. But I'm excited to work with this, and I think this will play very nicely next to the Haunted House Tarot, so we will see. And I believe this was actually the Oracle deck that Dustin had got, that he was asking me what a good tarot to go with. Like we were just kind of bouncing around ideas for what would aesthetically go with it, which is how we landed on the Haunted House Tarot, but I'm just babbling now. But yeah, so I'm excited to play with that this week. The guidebook looks pretty decent. It doesn't look like frighteningly thick, but you get a nice chunk of text for each card. So I'm excited to dig into that, and I will definitely let you guys know what I think. For this week, I'm just going to keep the book with the cards in my Peggy bag, and these are what I'm going to be working with. The reading cloth I chose to work with beneath these decks this upcoming week is this really cool bat anatomy cloth that Peggy made. So it looks like that, and then it's got this design on the back, which I probably won't use because this one's so cool. So that's what I'm going to be working with. So I'm really excited. I will let you guys know how it all works out, which I've probably said like 7 times in this video, but I will. And I'm excited to play. So this week and next week, this coming up week and next week are probably the most Halloween-y of my planned decks that I want to work with this Halloween season. So I'm really, really excited to get into them. I would love to hear what you guys are working with. Are you working with a Halloween themed deck right now? Are you not? What are you doing? And this video actually should be going up on my channel at around early in the morning on Sunday. So if you are watching this when it's first up, then definitely tune in just a little bit, because at 9 a.m. on this same Sunday this video is launching, we are going to be having another 3 Fat Readers chat over on the 3 Fat Readers YouTube channel. The link to that is definitely always in my description box down below, so give that a click. Come hang out with us. We're going to be doing a live from about 9 a.m. Pacific time until 10 or later, depending on how long we chat. But we're going to be talking about Halloween and fall themed decks. So definitely come hang out with us. And if you missed it live, don't sweat it. It'll be there for replay, but make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our future videos. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you all in the next one. Bye!